studio, and tonight I'm going to have a workshop on Asian painting. We're going to learn a couple of things, but one of the things that's really rewarding and actually fairly easy to do is a variation of sumi painting. This is examples of some practice sheets I was working on earlier today, and you can see it's basically a bamboo painting style with just 3 strokes, and I'm going to demonstrate that now just to give you sort of a sneak preview of how this goes. You need 2 kinds of brushes for this particular painting. You need a flat brush, which is called a hake, H-A-K-E, and a round brush, which is the fude, that's F-U-D-E. And people who study sumi painting study for years and years, and it's a very contemplative discipline. We're going to just scratch the surface of it and learn some of the very basic techniques for making the bamboo look 3-dimensional, and it's kind of a meditative exercise. So we're going to start with our hake brush, and as far as paint, we're going to be using really practice inexpensive poster paint. This is what kids use to do posters with, and you know, it's as long as it's a good black, all you need to do is create a gray wash. So this is how it works. I have a 3-weld paper plate here. This is where I'm going to be mixing my wash. This is going to be where I'm doing my black for the side, and my gray areas can go in here. So I'm going to get my brush wet, and again, it's a matter of practice as to how wet it should be. But put some water here in the well, and then get a tiny bit of black and mix it in until it's a light gray, like this. This is pretty good right here. You can see that it's sort of a medium gray. And the trick is to this stroke, this is the bamboo stroke. It's also called the first gentleman, which I think is interesting. There's 7 gentlemen in sumi painting. And then you're going to take your brush and just tip one corner of it in this darker black right here. Once you have that done, you're going to start the bamboo sumi stroke. Start off the page. That's why I have this under page here. And you're going to take a stroke of about 3 inches and then make a little dot like that, little dot like that. Now this is just practice, so you don't have to worry about it looking exactly like bamboo. This is about the way the segment should look. Because we're practicing on newsprint, you can see a little bubbling up in the paper, but that's okay. Again, it's just practice. So it's a stroke and a pause, a stroke and a pause, a stroke and a pause. And actually, this is a fairly cheap wooden brush with natural bristles, and sometimes the cheaper brushes will give you a better effect because the brushes sort of separate as you're painting, and that gives you, like this, the effect of the grain of the bamboo. So if you're starting off with this, I would recommend doing at least 5 pages of this particular sumi stroke. And then you're ready to tackle the leaf stroke. The leaf stroke is done with the fude. Put that there. This is our clean piece of practice paper. You always want to respect your tools, even if they are cheap brushes. So we're going to wipe this off with our paint rag, point it like this, and then put it down. And here's our fude. Notice that the fude is round with a fairly tapered tip on it. For the fude, we're going to do essentially the same thing. For the leaf stroke, we're going to make a gray and then tip it right at the end. It doesn't have a corner, so we need to tip it at the end. And then you do kind of a C stroke where you're going to lift up, push down, and lift up. So it's lift up, push down, and then lift up. Lift up, push down, and lift up. And this gives you kind of a nice, graceful leaf shape. And again, if you're starting off and you want to practice, I would suggest doing about 5 pages of this. Finally, when you put it all together, let's go back to our bamboo. I know this is upside down for you, but I'll turn it around in a second. Rinse and clean our brush. We're going to use a very tiny round fude to make our little stems, because bamboo leaves don't grow straight out of the cane itself. There's always a little delicate, like a gnat's eyelash, a little delicate stem like this. And sometimes it's a Y, and sometimes it's just a single stroke like that. And once you have those on, you can then start attaching some of your leaves. When you start to paint your leaf, don't try to make it fit the paper. Remember, this is just a snapshot of the bamboo universe. If it goes off the page, that's the way it grows. So I'm going to load up my brush, tip it with black. We're going to add a leaf here, up, down, up. We'll add a leaf here, up, down, up. Put one here, up, down, up. And they can cross each other. And then just for fun, put some splatters on it. So you can see that in just a couple of minutes, you have a fairly nice representation of bamboo. Plus, you've had the discipline of the smoothness of the stroke and the pleasure of putting them all together. So I hope you've enjoyed this sneak preview, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.